Hello everyone, this is Avonryn speaking, and today's video is going to be different from the other videos I've done so far. Today's video is going to be a Q&A to celebrate 6 months since the channel's first video, as well as our 100 plus subscriber count. Normally I script my videos pretty thoroughly, but I wanted this to be as candid as possible, so I'm only giving myself one take to answer all the questions. This does unfortunately mean that there may be some background noise that might slip through. I want to thank those of you who commented on the community post asking questions for me to answer, and with that, let's get started. Our first set of questions is coming from Poofy Charlie. They said, "Hey Avonryn, happy 6 months and congrats on the 100 plus subscriber count. Thank you. My questions for you are 1. What is your most memorable Mabinogi experience, such as running into hilarious bugs, meeting a longtime friend, getting a super rare item, etc.? 2. What are your thoughts on the Unreal Engine 5 update? Realistic or likely to be cancelled like every other Mabinogi spin-off project? 3. What other games or genres do you find yourself playing over and over again aside from Mabby? 4. What in-game item or pet, if any, is so important / meaningful to you that you wouldn't trade it for 1 billion gold? 5. Who is your favorite NPC and why is it Fergus?" So I'm gonna get that last one out of the way first. Fergus is by no means one of my favorite NPCs. I've never really liked him. I actually made sure to get rid of the I Love Fergus t-shirt from the event a long time ago. My favorite NPC is, let's see, I really like Hugh, just for his character design, and I'm a puppeteer, so I have to stick with that. I also really like Pine from the Divine Knights. I honestly have no idea how to properly pronounce her name. And then there's, I cannot remember her name, but she is the antagonist of G26. I feel really bad not remembering her name, but I really, really like the way that her character was portrayed and the overall character design that she had. I really enjoyed G26. Getting to do that was really fun for me. My most memorable Mabinogi experience is going to be me and my friends hanging out in a out-of-bounds area on Iria. Area on Iria, that is a strange thing to say. But we just got to kind of hang out, play some music over there, and it started raining. And for whatever reason, the rain just enhanced the music. And for whatever reason, that's the memory that came up first when I first read this question. I have a lot of really good memories from Abby. I have met several other players in real life. I did go to the Mabinogi Magmel Mixer in LA. I had actually stayed over with a friend from Mabby for a whole week when I went traveling abroad at one point. Mabby has been has become a huge part of my life at this point, whether I wanted it to be or not. My thoughts for the Unreal 5 project, I think it's gonna happen. I would be very, very surprised if they canceled it, like other Mabby spin-off things, because it's not really a spin-off. They are re-imaging the game with a new engine. We've got a lot of background information on that already with the Eternity Project web microsite, and we're continuously getting information as opposed to let's say for Mabinogi Mobile, for example, or even the Mabinogi Xbox thing that was at one point talked about. We get some info on that and then we stop getting anything. And for Unreal Engine, we just got some more information from the Mabinogi live event in Korea. They showed off some cool images of Dunbarton and what that's going to look like in the new engine, and that was really cool to see. What other games or genres do I find myself playing over and over again aside from Mabby? So I will openly admit that I am still a RuneScape player, and for those who play RuneScape and have to question RuneScape 3 or Classic, I've played for 16 years. I am on RuneScape 3 with the same character. I have been through a lot of it. I also really enjoy playing like first-person shooters. Doom was really fun to play for me. I'm not too big on games like Call of Duty, but like Apex Legends. There was another battle royale that I was playing a lot with my friends, and I can't remember what it was. We stopped playing it though. And then there's also like I play a lot of rhythm games. One of which I might do a video or two for the channel on at some point, because one of my rhythm games actually has official Mabinogi music. So I might do that at some point. And then for in-game items or pets that are so important and meaningful to me that I would never ever trade them, there are some, and I will try to show them on screen here. So in my Soulstream inventory, I keep all of my special upgraded weapons. Oops. And with these are some very, very, very old pieces of equipment to me. I have my first Anju Shuriken, which was the first weapon that I had made for me. I asked one of my friends to make it, and I've still held on to it to this day. I have 2 different sets of Celtic Royal Knight swords, because he made me one a very long time ago. I want to say in my first, 2 years of playing Mabby. And then when I wanted to remake them after the blue upgrade stone changes, I made sure that he was the one who made them for me then as well. I also have my Nightbringer control bars. I put a ton of work into getting these. I have probably spent around 2 billion gold or so getting them to where they are. But those are just a couple of the items that mean a lot to me that I would never get rid of. I also have a 9-tailed fox pet that a very old friend, they actually bought a karma coin card for me to be able to purchase the pet during the re-release. And I will never, ever, ever be getting rid of that pet. That is going to conclude the questions from Poofy Charlie. So we are going to move on to the questions from unidentified YouTube account, who says, "Hi Avonryn, happy Friday. It is actually Monday that I'm doing this recording though. Congratulations on the 6 months and 100 plus subscribers. I'll keep it short with 3 questions. Please see the following. 1. What are things you wish to see improved or be introduced that you believe will be a great addition to Mabby that'll make it the game to talk about in 2024 or 2025? Seeing as 2024 is almost over, I'm going to lean more on 2025. But they also ask, what is my story about how I started playing and what keeps me playing? The third question is, if you could make a community event that could become a regular Mabby event, what would you want to host? So things that I would like to see improved and introduced is, I would love to see more Arcana talents coming out, just being able to cross-class. I'm a huge fan of the Puppetmancer title, so I would love to see a Construct Alchemy and Puppeteer talent, which uses control bars, as the main weapon. But realistically, if they just keep bug fixing stuff, and adding new talents, and honestly, I think Unreal Engine is going to be the huge thing that's going to get people more interested in Mabinogi. Because I have actually seen a couple of larger YouTubers, at least I assume larger. I don't really watch YouTube myself, but I have seen a lot of other videos of content creators saying that Mabinogi is a very ambitious game, remaking the entire engine, or remaking the game in a new engine. Especially with the promise that nothing is going to be lost. If they can actually pull that off and truly nothing is lost, we are going to see probably a huge increase in players, solely because I think a lot more people are going to be interested in the newer art style, because I know that's a point that a lot of newer players don't really enjoy, is the older art style of Mabby. My story for starting Mabinogi is pretty plain, I guess. Like I said earlier, I'm a RuneScape player, and one of my clanmates on RuneScape was talking to me about Mabinogi because of how I just enjoyed getting skills up and getting stronger, etc. And he was like, well, you could try Mabinogi because it's got tons more skills than RuneScape, and every single skill gives you stats. So like, even if I was, trying to get stronger as a warrior, like going mining actually benefits my strength as a warrior. So I eventually decided to try it out. The character that I play on Avonryn was actually my second character, and his name also was not Avonryn until fairly recently. There is a community post from when I changed my username. Prior to that, I went by Pika1998. My first character was on the Tarlac server, and I got yelled at by my friend for choosing the wrong server. And then I ended up playing on the Rory server, and stuck on the Rory server forever. It's just been really fun seeing the game change. What I would say keeps me playing at this point, I know that Tamara or Taminogi has done a couple of shorts for Mabinogi hot takes, and I know someone had mentioned a time sink fallacy was the word, I think. But yeah, just like, I've spent so much time playing Mabby that it feels a little wrong to not play it. But at the same time, I do still enjoy the game. I still run the occasional dungeon. I would say I do shadow missions, but I can't stand them myself. I don't enjoy them. Dungeons are more up my alley. When it comes to things that I actively enjoy doing on Mabby, outside of like hanging with friends, obviously, is actually getting stuff together to make the videos for you guys. I've been really enjoying that, and I appreciate all the support that you guys give for encouraging me to do that. If I could make a community event that would become a regular Mabby event, what would I want to host? So I would love to do something kind of like the Torchlight Bazaar, but also kind of do it in a, like, I think the show's called Forged in Fire aspect. So like, you have a set amount of time where you can buy materials to then use to build a weapon, and like, whoever makes the best of the defined weapons wins. I don't really know how that would look overall, like at the point of like actually trying to do it. I have no idea what it would look like, because there's not very many ways to boost crafting quality from blacksmithing, so it would really just kind of end up being a little RNG. There wouldn't really be much of a skill base, quote unquote, to go off of. But yeah, maybe I'll have to kind of think on that a little more, and who knows, maybe I'll do a community event at some point like that. We'll see. But those were the questions that Unidentified YouTube account had for us. The third person and final person to ask questions was, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this and I apologize, is Isafe, who says, "Hi Avonryn, congrats on 6 months. Since Mabby is so big and I started playing in 2024, I wonder how much there is to cover with the Projects of Power. Do you have an estimation maybe? And then I would personally love to see if you would cover any nuances in the Projects of Power, and I could also see myself watching you explain different content beyond the Projects of Power." Thank you. With the Projects of Power, I kind of went over everything that's going to be in the series itself during the overview video. So the overview video was, as I believe I said it in the video, it's my recommended way to interact with all the different ways to get stronger in Mabby, or at least to start them, because like, obviously some stuff just takes so long that you're not going to be finished before, like, let's say you're not going to finish Stardust before you get a Grandmaster talent. That's just not very likely. I'm sure you could if you really wanted to, but it's not very likely. So the Projects of Power is just going over all the different power systems that are in the game to get stronger that I could come up with. I ran it by a couple of my friends, and they couldn't come up with anything to add either. Regarding the estimation, I'm assuming that means that it's going to be, like, how long do I think it'll take for me to finish the series? Right now I'm aiming for by the end of 2025, and the reason why is because right now it's taking me about 6 weeks to come out with a video, and that's just due to the way that I handle the process of making a video. The first week after I upload, I usually spend that relaxing and watching the statistics of the video, responding to any comments that get put up. The second week I usually spend gathering some information for whatever the next topic is, whether that be researching it through the Wikipedia, going off my own memory, sourcing stuff from the Mabinogi website, or even, like in the case of the Spirit video that's upcoming, I actually went and ran every advanced dungeon and every intermediate dungeon in the game to make sure that I had my info correct for those. Week 3 is usually when I start scripting. I usually start recording around week 4, just that way I can make sure that I have my script ready. Week 5 is usually spent editing and preparing, and then ideally week 6 is when I upload, and then I can kind of start the cycle again. Part of why it takes so long is because I do work a retail job, and for most of it, I have been responsible for either closing or opening my store since I started the channel. So my time to work on the videos is, like for recording, for example, is a very narrow time frame. Normally I'm doing my recording between like 2 and 5 a.m. But some days that's just not possible because I have to be up very early for work, or I just have stuff going on, or I have my neighbors being loud and I can't get good audio, just things that are not fully within my control. And I am going to add a little bonus answer here is, Isafe, you said that you would love if I covered any nuances in the Projects of Power. So something that I plan to do once I have the Projects of Power series done is I actually intend to make a clean brand new Mabby account and then put it to the test. Like, what happens if I follow my own advice? Hopefully, and ideally, I can get to a point where I'm decently strong without compromising the order of starting stuff that I recommended. And we'll see if there's any nuances that come up there, because realistically it's been 8 or 9 years since I started playing Mabby. The game's changed so much since I started that I honestly don't know 100% if the Projects of Power is a good recommendation for an order as it is right now, just because of how much the game has changed. So we'll see if once I have everything done, I'll probably get working on that, and everything that I do on that character or account, I will make sure I have recorded, so that way it's putting the Projects of Power to practice. And who knows, that might end up being the name of that series. I don't know. We'll see. I do have some other plans for content as well, and you know what? I'm going to share some of those. So, some of the ideas that I've had for content in the past, if I can find my notepad. I cannot find my notepad. I know one of them was, for those whom are familiar with Tamara or Tamanogi's interviews, I have wanted to do something kind of similar, but have it be more of a gear focused thing. So talking about the story behind someone's item, similar to how I answered the question of items that are so important and meaningful to me that I wouldn't get rid of it. Like, I want to know what some other people's items and stories are regarding those items. It doesn't have to be anything particularly fancy or grand. It could just be like if you have a special cooking knife that a friend gave you, or if you have a pet that someone gave you, or maybe you bought a pet because you really loved it and it's become your main combat pet, even though it's not a like one you wouldn't typically see. I've also contemplated doing a like a cosplay sort of thing, where it's like, what would this character do in Mappy? And then at some point I will be doing some crafting guides, going over the different crafting skills and easiest ways to train those. Those would probably be hand in hand with the Projects of Power practical test, though. And then I did get some returning players who gave me some requests for content that I could make geared more towards them, such as ways to make gold, viable talent routes, gear to aim for when you're just starting out, stuff like that. And then I also have been contemplating doing some shorts. Haven't committed on how I want to do those shorts yet, though. But that answers all the questions that I was given, and I started to ramble a little bit there. I want to thank every single one of you that watches this for being here, supporting me through this. I honestly did not expect to get more than like 20 or 30 subscribers on Mabby, or for Mabby, and having 100 and almost 20 at the time of recording is kind of mind-boggling. The comments you guys leave on my videos have all been so positive. If I find myself having a little bit of a bad day, I tend to just kind of skim over them, and it helps me get in a better mood. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Next up is the Projects of Power Spirit Weapons.